What does it mean to be successful? What does a truly fulfilling life look like? For a long time, I thought I knew the answer. It was the big house, the fancy car, the impressive job title. It was the picture-perfect life that society sells us. You know the one I'm talking about, the one we see plastered all over social media and in movies. Get the degree, land the high-paying job, climb the corporate ladder, and boom it. I spent years chasing that version of success. I worked tirelessly, I networked, I checked all the boxes, and on the surface it looked like I was winning. I had the job, the apartment, the lifestyle that was supposed to make me happy. But deep down, something felt off. I'd wake up in the morning feeling a sense of emptiness, a quiet but persistent voice asking, "Is this it? Is this all there is?" I was living a life that looked great on paper but didn't feel great in my soul. It was like wearing a suit that was perfectly tailored but incredibly uncomfortable. That disconnect sent me on a journey to redefine what success and fulfillment really mean, not according to the world, but according to me. And what I discovered was that the conventional definition is a one-size-fits-all model that rarely fits anyone perfectly. It's a template that ignores our unique passions, our individual values, and our personal sense of purpose. So, how do we break free from this template? How do we craft our own definition of a successful and fulfilling life? The first step, I learned, is a radical act of self-inquiry. It's about tuning out the noise of external expectations and tuning into the quiet wisdom of your own heart. It starts by asking yourself some powerful and sometimes difficult questions. What makes you feel alive? Think about it. When do you lose track of time? What activities make your heart race with excitement? Is it painting, writing, coding, gardening, or maybe it's helping others? These aren't just hobbies, they are clues. They are signposts pointing toward your authentic self. For me, it was creating things, sharing ideas, and connecting with people on a deeper level. It wasn't about the status, it was about the impact and the process. The next question is, what are your core values? If you had to describe what matters most to you in life using just a few words, what would they be? Words like freedom, connection, creativity, security, adventure, or community. These values are your personal compass. When you make decisions, big or small, that align with your core values, you're steering your life in a direction that feels right, that feels authentic. Living a life that contradicts your values is a recipe for unhappiness, no matter how successful it looks from the outside. For example, if you value freedom, a highly structured 9-to-5 job with little autonomy might feel like a cage, even if it pays well. And perhaps the most profound question is, what kind of impact do you want to have? When you look back on your life, what story do you want it to tell? This isn't about becoming famous or changing the entire world. It can be much smaller and far more personal. Do you want to be known as a kind and loving parent, a supportive friend, a mentor who inspired others? or someone who brought a little more beauty into the world through your art. Your desired impact is your legacy. It's the why behind everything you do. But once you start exploring these questions, you begin to see that success isn't a destination. It's not a finish line you cross. A fulfilling life is a dynamic, ever-evolving process. It's about the journey itself. It's about growth, learning, and connection. This brings me to a crucial point. Fulfillment often lies in the small moments, not just the grand achievements. We're so focused on the mountaintop that we forget to enjoy the climb. A fulfilling life is found in that morning cup of coffee, in a deep conversation with a friend, in the satisfaction of learning a new skill, in laughing until your stomach hurts. These moments are the fabric of a well-lived life. The big wins are exciting, but they are fleeting. The daily joys are what sustain us. I realized my old definition of success was heavily focused on having the right job, having the right salary, having the right possessions. My new definition is focused on being and doing, being present, being authentic, being kind, doing work that matters to me, doing things that bring me joy. It's a shift from an external scorecard to an internal one. Let's re-examine some of those traditional markers of success through this new lens. To career, for instance. Instead of just chasing the highest salary, what if we chased the greatest alignment with our passions and values? Success could be a teacher who ignites a love of learning in their students. It could be a freelance artist who has the freedom to create on their own terms. It could be a stay-at-home parent who finds immense purpose in raising compassionate human beings. None of these might fit the old corporate ladder model, but they are incredibly successful by a more human-centered definition. What about wealth? The old model says more is always better. But a fulfilling approach asks, how much is enough? Enough to live comfortably, enough to be secure, enough to pursue your passions without constant financial stress. Beyond that point, chasing more money often leads to diminishing returns in happiness. True wealth isn't just about your bank account. It's about having rich relationships, abundant time for what you love, and good health. You can be a billionaire and be spiritually and emotionally bankrupt. And relationships. The social media version of success often shows a huge network of friends and a picture-perfect romance. But fulfillment comes from the quality, not the quantity, of your connections. It's about having a few people in your life who you can be completely yourself with, who support you and who you can support in return. Deep, meaningful connections are one of the most significant predictors of long-term happiness. This journey of redefining success is not easy. It requires courage. The courage to be different. The courage to disappoint people who have a certain vision for your life. The courage to walk away from a path that looks good on the outside but feels empty on the inside. It's an ongoing practice of checking in with yourself and asking, am I living in alignment with what truly matters to me? And it's important to remember that your definition can and will change over time. What felt fulfilling in your 20s might not be what you seek in your 40s or 60s. Life is fluid. We grow, we learn, our priorities shift. The goal is not to find one perfect, static definition of success and cling to it forever. The goal is to stay connected to yourself and have the flexibility to adapt your definition as you evolve. So, I invite you to take some time, grab a journal, and ask yourself those questions. What makes you feel alive? What are your core values? What impact do you want to have? Don't censor yourself. Write down whatever comes to mind. There are no right or wrong answers. There is only your truth. Your version of a successful, fulfilling life is waiting for you to define it. It's not out there somewhere to be found. It's in you, waiting to be created. It's a masterpiece that only you can paint. So pick up your brush and start creating. Don't be afraid to make it messy, colorful, and uniquely yours. Because a life that is authentically yours is the most successful life you can possibly live. Thanks for joining me on this reflection today. If this resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What does a successful and fulfilling life look like to you? Let's continue the conversation. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content on living a more intentional life. See you in the next one.